Welcome to another episode, everyone. Corcoran State Prison, a breeding ground for absolute chaos and violence. And the Broadway Crips found out that a dude from up north was a no good rat bastard. Well, Fred Dog from Five Deuce Broadway was there on Sea Yard in Corcoran back in the day, circa 1995. Big dude. I believe he too is resting in peace now, from my understanding. Fred Dog was a strong and solid dude, and he was making money there on the yard. Fred Dog really tended to mind his own business, and it would be hard to catch him up if you were the police because he dealt with very few people. But the people that he dealt with, he was really making money from. Another dude was on the yard from up north. His name was Najee, something like that. I believe it was Najee. He was a tall dude, and I remember distinctly that he had been locked up for 10 years because I had did some business with old Najee. And he and I had a discussion or two in which he told me that he had been locked up for 10 years. In fact, he was about to go home soon. Najee was on the yard making money as well. Now, he pretty much separated himself from the up north crowd. Though he was from up north, somewhere up north, I don't know. He was by himself all the time on the yard. Or he was even hanging out with the Crips or whatever. He would just let people know that he was from up north. But he was not dealing with them like that. They had their own thing going anyway. They didn't necessarily need him or need anything from him. They didn't need his sack. They had their own money. They had their own sack. But I'm sure they still wanted him to be with them physically if he's going to be walking around the yard saying that he's from up north. But Najee decides that he wants to do his own thing. He's making money. He's getting it in. And really, he's not bothering anyone. He's trying to stay low-key because he's on his way out of the door. He's about to finally go home. However, the goon squad ends up hitting his cell. The goon squad being the people that come in and rush your cell when they think that you are doing something illicit, even there behind the walls. Trained officers, trained in certain tactics to come in and find the stuff. They hit his cell, but they don't find anything in Najee's cell. This is a good thing. When the goon squad comes to hit your cell, I know I've experienced it more than once. They're tearing it up. They're taking out the lights on top of your cell. Stuff that regular COs don't do on a regular cell search. The goon squads are coming. They're going through every nook and cranny of your property. They're trying to locate the stuff, whatever the stuff may be that they believe resides inside of your cell. They do not want to walk out of your cell without it, and you have something in there, thus making them look foolish. So they're going through everything. So they went through Najee's cell with a fine-tooth comb. Najee did whatever he did, bust a move, got rid of the stuff, and he was clean as a whistle. So everything is fine, you would think. But Najee is feeling the heat now. He knows that the heat is on him just by the fact that they just hit his cell. The goon squad. Once the goon squad hits your cell, you know you've been told on the yard. If you on the yard dealing, you making money, and the goon squad start hitting your cell, your days are numbered. You got to lay low key. You got to give it up, whatever. They're on to you. Same as the police raiding your trap house on the street. They know what you're in there doing. That's why they're there raiding the trap house. So Najee now knows that these individuals know that he's up to no good treachery there on the yard. Najee writes a letter to his wife. And in this letter, Najee is saying, he's naming Fred Dog. He's saying Fred Dog's name. He's telling his wife in a letter The letter ended up hitting the yard. Everybody read it. He's telling his wife in the letter that the goon squad just hit his cell. They didn't find anything because he's not doing anything. The people on the yard that are doing something, the police are not bothering them. The letter goes on to say that the police knows good and well that Fred Dog from Broadway Crips is the main man on the yard. They know that he's getting it in and how he's getting it in. They know that he's making plenty of money, but they not going to go bother him. They're going to come and bother me. Ain't that some wife? So he's naming Fred Dog in the letter, and he's saying that Fred Dog has everything, yet the police want to come and disturb his program. Fred Dog gets the letter. This is how dirty the police are. They're in prison. They knew exactly what they were doing. They had it in for old Najee. They didn't want old Najee to go home. Najee had been on the yard making money for some time. They were unable to catch him. And now he's about to slip through the cracks and go home after he sat here on the yard and made money right under their noses. So when he starts snitching, or if that's what you want to call it, in the kite to his wife, the police read the letter. This is why it's snitching. Because they read every letter before it goes out of the prison. So they read the letter. Najee knows that they're going to read this letter. They read the letter. And instead of mailing the letter out to his wife, they reroute the letter to Fred Dog and send it to his cell. When the police come around and give you mail, they give you reroute letters. Your letter came back for whatever reason. You don't have enough postage on there, what have you. They give you reroute mail. Fred Dog get the letter and say, what is this? I ain't sending this letter out. And he opens it up and reads it. And it says everything right there. So now the police are on to Fred Dog, because this individual said in the kite that Fred Dog has the yard sold up, yet they are in my cell, bothering me, searching my cell. They don't want me to come home. They scared to approach Fred Dog. They scared to do something to the real individual that's on the yard making the money. So instead, they want to come and harass me, an individual who is not a member, who is isolated and by himself, and they know this, and so they want to bother me instead of putting their hands or their strength and their power onto Fred Dog, the real culprit on the yard. But again, he's telling this to his wife, a civilian on the street. But when Fred Dog gets the letter, and old boy's name is on the letter, everybody knows who sent the letter. Fred Dog, well, he's outraged. Fred Dog knew exactly why the police had sent the letter back to him and rerouted it back to him. They wanted him to know that this dude has your name all in his mouth. He's trying to expose you, Fred Dog. He's saying that you are the man. That, in other words, we should focus our attention on you and leave him alone. He knew that we were going to read this damn letter, and yet he still mentioned this individual's name. So Fred Dog is incensed, and he takes it to the up north car. He let his comrades know first. Man, look at this letter. People on the yard reading the letter, bro. Behind the dude's back, he's blind to the fact that the police has exposed this letter to Fred Dog. So he made his homeboys aware of the situation. They said, oh yeah, take it to them immediately. So Fred Dog took the letter along with his homeboys to the up north car. And the up north car essentially said, he's not even really with us. Y'all know what's up. This dude's by himself. He walks a yard by himself. We don't even mess with the dude like that, bro. However, he is claiming up north. So we'll take care of it, because Fred Dog was like, it's all good. Me and my homies, the Crips will take care of it. Me and my homies will take care of it. We gonna crash his ass. We gonna get him off the yard. We finna remove him. So the up north, I think they didn't want to look like they wasn't trying to take care of their own. they wasn't really claiming him, but he was claiming up north. So that I think they sort of felt obligated, like, because they told Fred Dog, no, we'll take care of it. We're just saying he ain't one of us like that, bro, but we'll take care of it because he is saying that he's from the up north car. He is walking around the yard claiming up north. We let him walk around the yard saying that he was from up north. So we're responsible for his actions, so to speak. We'll remove him. And it didn't take long. The very next day, because the up north car, they felt disrespected as well. That this dude is claiming to be one of them and would pull a stunt like this. So they moved in silence. It was rather impressive the way the up north car took care of business. They came out onto the yard at nighttime. They had night yard there in Corcoran at the time. And they walked dude around the track. Now, he should have known something was up because normally he's by himself, but they hugging him up and walking with him around the track, talking about whatever they're talking about. But everybody's watching. Everybody knows it's about to go down except the potential victim. And suddenly, the dudes from up north, I swear, it's like they came out of nowhere. They were strategically placed. It was about 5 of them. And they got the dude from the front, the back, and both sides. Circled him in and attacked him, got him on the ground, and was hitting him. Now again, not a lot of knife play on a level 3 yards. Not a lot of it. There is some, but not a lot. But when it comes to snitching, the knives will come out. And dude was a proven rat. They didn't speak to him. They didn't tell him why they were attacking him. Not a word was given. That's how I like the way they did. The up north car ended up moving. They moved in complete silence. They said nothing. They drew their weapons. They came out of nowhere. Obviously, it was strategic. Obviously, it was planned. Obviously, they had their hitters already lined up and designed. And they attacked the dude without a word being said and was eating his ass up. And dude is on the ground. He yelling and squirming and trying to get him off of him. And they kicking him in the head. Stabbed him in the side. Beating him. Jumping on him. It was ugly out there. It took a while for the police to lay the yard down, and they finally did lay the, get down, everybody get down. You hear the alarm going on, roo, roo. Police running in. The dudes from up north, they prone out, they get out on the ground. They cuff them up. They got blood everywhere. Dude leaking, blood on the ground. He's sitting down moaning, twitching back and forth, moaning. They finally cuffed him up. Everyone got them out of there, put him on a stretcher, and ran him out. Medical had to come on the yard, administer some sort of aid right then and there, and then they got him on the stretcher and rushed him to medical. He did survive, but barely. He snitched. He got caught. I'm sure his position would be that he was just talking to his wife. They didn't even confront him with the letter. They didn't even give him a chance to talk his way out of it, to explain. They said, this is snitching. This is all we need to see. We don't have to say nothing to this dude. We're just going to get him. We're just going to take care of business. The up north court. And they took care of business. They ain't say nothing. They just took care of business. Crashed him and got him off the yard. A rat. We all know the snitches, well, they shall get ditches. Stay free, people.